eventually. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Well, that's not what I say. Happy Friday Eve. I'm all thrown off. Welcome to Politics with Pan. I am your host, Pan. Everybody know me as Christian, or that's what my mama named me. And I'm here with my homegirl, my partner, the infamous Mel Young. What's going on, Mel?
What's good, man?
Man, chilling, trying to stay cool. It's hot as shit outside.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Man,
It's real summer yet.
it came in with a vengeance. It's like hurricane season is early. It's
Man,
humid.
humid. The humidity is crazy. Then these mosquitoes ain't playing. I ain't feeling it.
Nah, I'm not really. I'm not. I'm not.
Feeling
Nah, very unexcited for the summertime here in Houston. The spring with the weather conditions right now was actually rather pleasant.
It was. It was.
Yeah, like God smiled on us around here because
Yeah, I
now
miss, I miss April. I miss April for sure.
because it is ridiculous out here. Now the World Cup is going on. Boys are sitting in traffic for like I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm just staying in the house.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not
staying.
going anywhere near there. If I have to go anywhere near there, I'm going to ride my bike. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not.
ain't
I'm
got no
not.
bike lanes though, but I hear you.
Man, that's fun. Dog.
Bike lanes gone.
The bike lane's gone, and all the dope fiends is sleep on the bike trail. All the dope fiends on the bike trail.
Nah.
Dog, on God. I was riding the bike one day. It was a guy on this. He had a suite lit. The suite was on fire. Bro was asleep on the bench on the bike trail. I'm riding past. I think it's like McGowan going towards Edo. Like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, like right past Kenny Holmes. I'm going. I
That
get.
sounds
I'm. I'm down there on the trail, bro. Sleep with the suite lit. Like, I'm like, this not okay, dog. Like this is not. Like, I'm sure he not trying to hurt nobody, whatever the case may be. But like, I would if I was like a young lady or something, like an older person, I'd be a little like, I just, I understand niggas be on drugs, but everybody's not gonna be that socially tolerant of people and their drug use. I've been to Portland quite a few times. That's
yeah,
that's how
that's
it is up there.
yeah, that's real special day.
Yeah, they be. If you ever, I mean, Oregon is a beautiful place, but
Yeah,
if you
it's
ever go,
nice, but them tent rolls be it be a whole subdivision.
they outside.
Man, it's pretty intense out there.
They outside, and they told them they can do dope in their tents, which is crazy. Like, I mean, I
Hey,
don't.
they gonna do it somewhere.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? But like, if you downtown, you like trying to go catch dinner with your wife, and you just like get a whiff of crack smoke. That's crazy. Like that's
I ain't gonna go there with you, man.
that's what I be think. That's what I was thinking about because I used to go there all the time, and I remember when they passed the law, and I'm like, well, I mean, surprisingly, it seemed it's still as weird as it was before. I don't think the violence has gone up or anything like that. It's really
Nah,
just more of an eyesore than anything, and it's funny. But nonetheless, crack smells horrible. So you just you don't want that.
unfortunately, I've had the opportunity to smell it, so yeah,
Me
that's
too.
real.
It's it is terrible. Like it's terrible. But that's not why we're here today.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Let's focus.
That's not why we're here today. So today, after all that has happened in America, I'm feeling real pro black, right? Real like fight the power for sure. So I decided to title today's show "Invitation Revoked" because nobody else can come to the cookout until we get our shit together. And I think that's a fair assessment of where we are as a people, as black people. When you're on punishment, your mama say, y'all can't have nobody over here, the house dirty. I think that's where we are right now as a people. I don't know how you feel, Mel. What you thinking?
I feel like you're right, but even after we get our shit together, they still can't come.
Like Mel, I'm a little bit nicer than she is, but that's what we're gonna be talking about. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. Shout out to the featured artist of the day, my boy Jamie Hancock, straight out of the Southwest Side. He just recently went viral for Southside on Instagram. I think he had a post showing people about how Houstonians danced in the '90s, a lot of body rolling and spinning
Yeah,
arms and throwing your hands up, and yeah, it went down. It went down on his Instagram, and he went viral for the South Side. He got a new track that is just dropped on his Instagram. You can follow him at Sofa Boy Jamie. The Sofa Boys is his crew representing Houston, Texas. We're gonna get into that. His first before we get into this discussion. This first track of the night is called Body Rock with Me, and it's by Jamie Hancock out of Houston, Texas. We're gonna get into it. Make sure I'm together. Here we go.
Rock with me, Southside with me, body rock with me, Southside with me. When I first started, they used to tell me to dumb it down. Told me to make it easier to digest. Said I used to lose. Well, I'm really confused. I'm on this one time
like
for
the
your
dialogue.
mind, I'ma go break it. Down. Back when I was po, I still sweat not. The nappy hair, but I dread not. The carrots I clock, the cabbage and lettuce I relish. You bound to perish if you ever touch what I cherish. I've been watching the throne before them niggas was in Paris. And something all black like Gary On or Cody Rhodes. And similar to his father, I'm known to throw elbows on top of the feet, no shell toes. And they know I'm about to blow once I land mines. Can't stop the sense of time, but they seem to slow down when I roll up this doty. Hardcore hippie, they call me Mick Foley. Don't get socked, hard body. Why you think my last name Hancock? Rap game stand out. You ever work a 9 to 5 and have a customer fan? Even through the shade, I knew my vision was gon' pan. I tank on E, but my drive still ain't ran. You feel how I feel, body rock with me, Southside with me. You know them blocks we bleed, chop up the streets. You know the game ain't free, and ain't it ludicrous how we disturbing the peace? If you feel how I feel, body rock with me, Southside with me. You know them blocks we bleed, chop up the streets. You know the game ain't free, and ain't it ludicrous how we disturbing the peace? I'm just trying to survive in the city.
Yeah, that was Body Rock with Me by Jamie Hancock. That was a jammer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
Nah, that was cool. I like the South Side homage, body rock. You know, Fat Pat Hawk on that thing. The beat was cool. I'm trying to South Side and body rock's a little fast, but uh,
Yes.
it's cool. The flow was cool too.
You got
Flow was,
you a nice little sway to that.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to slow the beat down a little bit, but we do that anyway. So
Yeah, no, that was nice. Yeah, so I met Jamie a long time ago. I believe we were still going to Prairie View.
okay,
But I believe he went to West Side. And I met him through Big Kang and Verse, and shout out to all the homies. And they formed a clique called Sofa Boys, and they've been holding it down over there for a little minute. He took a little hiatus, but now he back and he jamming.
cool. That's a good way to come back then.
Yeah, man, for sure, right on. So, well, let's get into it. As everybody knows, sadly, a life was lost. Um, a young man, Austin Metcalf, he, lost his life in an altercation at a track meet. He was stabbed by a young man named Carmelo Anthony up in the Dallas area, Dallas suburb of Frisco, Texas. Carmelo was sentenced to 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What, how you feeling about that?
Um, I think 35 years was excessive. I do understand, like you said, that a life was lost, and you don't wish that on any family, any parent. But when you look at the justice system and the things that we've been able to get out of the justice system, you can't help but second guess, like, what if it was the other way around?
Mhm.
Or there's just been plenty of events that have happened over the last decade or so, or even closer to, where people have taken lives, have done other violent crimes, and they get a slap on the wrist, they get no jail time, and you can't help but wonder, in this case, why is the punishment so?
Yeah, yeah. Not I. When it first popped off, when I first saw it, I in situations like this, I'm rather pessimistic. I don't believe in our white counterparts' ability to see the humanity in black people. And I'm not saying that for all white people, but I'm saying that it's for the majority of white people, especially white people in power. So when knowing the facts of the case that were made public, that these young brothers stabbed a young white man in the chest, I instantly thought that they was gonna try to hang, bro. I did not think that. Oh, for sure, man.
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't.
I mean, come on.
I'm not, but there are a lot of black people, dog, who feel like the racism that is being perpetrated against us, like what it was is not what it is no more. You know what I mean? That's because it's more covert, right? It's like they're not calling us nigger and throwing
They
Coca-Cola at us. But they really are, though. Like, they really are calling us nigger on the internet every day. Like,
Yeah.
every single day, like, they are showing up, like the ones who really hate us, like the ones who believed everything their grandparents told them and insulating themselves in these all white communities. They really see us as like these sadistic animals who need to be controlled and like tamed and shit like that. And to me, this proves that, like, no black people on the jury,
Yep.
all white people, average age 50 years old. The
Yep.
3 black people that they did have on the jury, they got rid of them saying that they were educators, but they let a white educator stay. It's goddamn Frisco, Texas. Like, for
Yep.
those who live in Houston, that's like getting in trouble in Montgomery County.
Yep. Our Brazoria.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't Harris County. You ain't there's no shape form there's no shape form of fashion where you're gonna be okay as a black person going into the criminal justice system in any of these counties.
Nah, for sure. That's correct.
Like, bro was cooked. And man, like, it's like I said at the top of it, it's terrible that young man died. And I'm
Absolutely.
with you, right? Like, because I was watching this guy who I called a tool today on Facebook. What's his name? Because he pissed me off. Man, he made me so mad.
Streets now, man. I don't even.
Let me look. Where's this post at? Because I just called him a tool. He is he a white guy. He's a libertarian commentator. And he, like, so the Congresswoman Jack Crockett went on Robbie Sove. So the Congresswoman, they interviewed her at the Capitol, and she was basically saying what you were saying, like, had it been the other way around, right? Like, what I'm saying, Woody got 35, right? Like,
Right.
and she said in a very matter of fact way, right? There wasn't like much compassion for the victim in the way that she said it and stuff like that. It was like, we talking about it, like the facts of the case, the facts of what happens when you are this kind of person in America and you are that kind of person in America. And he was just like, oh my God, like a life was lost. And like, she's just completely disregarding that. And she's not, right? But like the black argument was fuel for him to try to make it seem like she was just like this heartless, non-caring individual that did not process that a life was lost in the midst of this. But like 2 lives are lost because of an unnecessary altercation between 2 young men who didn't have better conflict resolution. And that's terrible. But the impact of this don't gotta be what the precedent that is set right now is what she is saying. And the response from white people is just horrid.
I mean, but what do we expect, right?
I don't expect nothing less.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I don't. I don't expect anything less. I actually, trolling one day. I was in a black conservative group. I just popped up on my Facebook feed. I'm like, let me get in this black conservative group. You know what I mean? And see what these niggas talking about.
Let me hear. I want to hear that.
So I hop in the black conservative group. I'm in there for a few days and I'm just reading, right? Because I'm just trying to see what the sentiment of the people are, right? And there's so many white people in this black conservative group. Why? I'm so many white people, and the white people are saying outlandish things about black people. They are going in like, oh, monkeys, cool. This guy called this black lady Blackie. Like, it was going down in there. Like, the racism was at 1,000 in this black conservative group. And it was like black people in there like, yeah, I don't see color, I don't see race. And it's literally white people in here saying cool, monkey, nigger. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Like,
it was on the Kevin Hart roast.
Yeah, I still have not watched it. Just because I'm not a fan of Kevin Hart, I don't think he's very funny.
No, I only watch clips and I've read, I mainly like read through it. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing that like if that's the black conservative group, Kevin Hart in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Actually, I was watching YouTube the other day again because Cheryl Underwood got up there and went the fuck off.
Yeah.
Right, and for whatever happened, Tony Heathcliff, maybe his PR team or whatever the case may be, they got with him because Cheryl Underwood was on his show. Like as a judge, like here recently. So I think they like made nice or something like that. Like I don't really understand how all of that works, but she was very upset. And to see her on his show, it was kind of shocking. Like, because her energy was like, I ain't fucking with none of you.
Underwood is a conservative. Like she's a outspoken Republican,
Is she?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. Zeta.
Yeah, she is a conservative.
What's going on, Z5B?
So,
ain't she like the president of Zeta Phi Beta or something like that?
Well, I don't know none of that, but I do know she, she won't claim to be a Democrat. She did say that she didn't vote for Trump and all of that good stuff, but I think she is like conservative and very comfortable in it, which ain't no problem at all. But
yeah, she's a 20-year international president. I mean, it's okay. I mean, Zetas can be Republicans too, I guess.
Yeah, anybody can be anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I told that to one of the people in the black conservative groups, right? Because I'm like, yo, there are conservative Democrats. He was like, where? I'm like, yeah, just like they're gay Republicans. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, anybody can be anything, bro. Like,
anybody can definitely be anything. So
yeah, like because most black people who are Democrats, if you don't know, are black conservatives. They are not as liberal as you may want them to think. They are mostly black conservatives, very much so God-fearing, faith, family. I can't remember, faith, family, and freedom kind of people. Very, very, very much so conservative. Yeah. They just vote Democrat because that's what all the black people are. So for the guy who needed to make a comment about like there are conservative Democrats too. It's a spectrum, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so back to the case, right? So Charleston White came out. Charleston White said that he was going to donate $75,000 to the case. How you feel about Charleston? What is your take on Charleston? I mean, like, I feel like he's evolved, especially as a social character. He's still a little outlandish and crass, like with his words and the way he come across. But do you think it's like genuinely authentic, like as far as like his reverence for the black community, or like just like what you think?
I think of him as one of the dudes that hang out at the corner store all day, from sun up to sundown, and a broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Yeah.
That just kind of what he gives to me. Like there are times where he has good points, and sometimes where the takes are just like, bro, like, all right. Is people like him I don't pay much attention to at all. He has an audience, and if it's a good message that reaches that audience, okay, great. But I don't give him too much. I don't hang out in front of corner stores neither. So, that's.
Yeah, I mean, because
I feel like he may feel like he doing some good, and and for some people he very well may be, but nah.
Yeah, I
Nah.
mean, people like him and Candace Matthews have popped up on the scene in the last few days. I seen Candace Matthews live in, I believe it's up in Collin County, talking shit. She had like her paperwork and letting, she got found some stuff about the DA, by him potentially having some kind of legal problems that are going on. She's like trying to bring that to light. I don't really know what the strategy is around that, but I don't know if it's necessarily helpful.
Mm-hmm.
From my perspective, it doesn't necessarily seem helpful.
Yeah.
I just, I think that all around, I mean, just the lack of a chance that he did have, and the just the strength of the defense, I think it just set him up for the
Failure.
worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did. I think from a defense, and I have no legal background at all, but I do think from things that I've read, and people that are in the legal field, I do feel like he possibly could have had someone better to represent him. Just because
yeah.
that attorney defends other people very well doesn't mean that they're going to do that same thing for you. So
Yes, and see, and I've heard a narrative, right? I seen a brother on Facebook talking about um how like his family was like led astray, right? Led to decide to, take this where they took it, the stuff with the GoFundMe, about all the money being in the GoFundMe cachet, and the lawyers and the civil rights activists and all of them trying to coalesce around the family so they could be able to get a portion of said funds, that were raised in support of the family and stuff like that. And if I dislike anything, it is a grifting ass nigga.
ooh,
Like, oh
listen.
boy.
And I do believe some of them people that chase them ambulances, that's what they are. They're grifters.
Yeah.
When the cameras are bright, they're there. They don't go unless it is a camera there. Um, instead of trying to, defend cases, they wait for the civil suit.
Hmm.
you know so I do think that's a thing, but I hopefully, after this, as far as his appeals go, maybe there'll be a better situation or group of intention around the family in the case.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, I definitely think that especially with him not having a jury of his peers, like that definitely needs to go to another court. It's to not have anybody black on a jury is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a game. That's a game. And then everybody's saying, the dad and the DA and the judge, that they all know each other. But I don't, like you were saying earlier, what do you expect? Right? Like, this is a small white Dallas suburb where, like, it's a very, I would assume, right? Because most of these suburbs are tight knit communities. Everybody know everybody,
Right.
especially like in your racial groups, right? Like, a lot of these people go to church together. There's usually a large church where everybody communes and stuff like that. So it's not, it's not far fetched for these people to be, you
Relationships. Yeah.
you know what I mean? They may very well all be from that area, things like that. So I mean, as far as just the racial dynamic of it, like, just when you flee the hood and
Mm.
you go, you
Oh
know what
Lord.
I mean? Like, we go, like, when you flee the hood and you go integrate with them folk. I don't know, like, what like. I get it, right? Like, they got HEBs and they got
I get it
Sprouts.
too. I get it
You know what
too.
I mean? Like, but
Understand.
you are not safe there.
No.
Like, I don't,
No, as soon as they say they ain't safe over here neither. But you
I
it's consequences.
it,
It's consequences.
it definitely is. I mean, like, unfortunately, and I pray for both families. The Anthony family's parents are still getting death threats.
Hmm.
They've had to move.
So at this point,
Like, they said, they did interviews like today or yesterday, said they still getting death threats. And he in jail now. How did he get to jail so fast?
look, they ran that thing real fast. Like
Dog.
case sentencing, you know, verdict, all of that. I was like, oh, okay,
And then you
yeah,
got Grizzly Hood News posting the boy on the internet. He in there looking like he
yeah.
on
I
the
I, I didn't I unfollowed that page. I ain't messing with that.
I feel like it is going so far to the right.
Yeah, and for a Facebook check, nobody cares to moderate. But yeah, I'm good on that. I ain't.
Yeah, I have been, especially a lot of us, right? They're like, yeah, I don't know what's happening over here like anymore. Like it was, at first, like the rise, it's that
Uh-uh.
money, it's that money.
It's always the money.
Yeah,
It's
it's that
always
money. It's
yeah.
that money. Cause something, yeah, it's when she posted that boy in the little brown thing with his haircut, and I'm just like, why would you do that?
It's been plenty of things before that like why did you do that? So nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I guess I ain't that type. I just be seeing her like take pictures of people, like them people that was running around in Pasadena. It was like that wig was on the ground. Like
Yeah, nah.
and somebody in the comments going, "Pastor, get down, Dina." Like,
Yeah, nah, man. I'm out of that. I'm out of that.
yeah, man. Nah. Shout out to my girl Jazz. Yes, Justice for Cyrus. It's terrible, right? Because going back to this, the self defense argument was, like going back to the defense thing, it was weak,
Yeah.
but at the same time, this Asian man shoots this young man in the back, 14 years old, for allegedly stealing something that can be replaced in his store,
Yeah.
and he gets off.
Yep.
Like it's the civil rights bill getting struck down.
Yeah.
Them shrinking the black congressional districts,
Yep.
cutting DEI.
Yep.
Now, oh, and then on top, I mean, it's getting tough out here. I mean,
Yeah. It's been
yeah,
tough, but it's real tough
no, it's man, like you know
now.
what I mean. Like we might need to put on our Sunday's best and scream and go and get in the street and sing
Well,
hymnals again.
they ain't never really care how we dressed, but
Nah,
that's
nah, they
boys was
that
hanging from trees in full suits. So nah.
bruh, the respectability politics has never done anything for us. Never, never. But I mean, I think it is pointing to a broader point of like, what does it look like as far as us organizing for ourselves? What does it look like as far as us being able to see? I guess for me, the writing on the wall, right? Like I'm not for I'm for being in spaces that are safest for me
Mhm.
and make me feel the most seen. Like
Right.
I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their money, what to do with their dollars. When you come up in your life, what you do is on you. But the white ice is not colder. And I
Uh,
think that in all of these situations, right? Like in any time a nigga has been lynched, given a whole bunch of time and stuff like that, it's usually in places where like there are these white Christian nationalist conservatives who are trying to uphold the so-called rule of law, and they want to bring down the hammer, and make an example, right? Because not in my white community, right? But we don't. I was reading this book and I'm reading this Bell Hooks book right now,
okay.
and she was saying, right, she was talking about Martin Luther King, and it was crazy that I decided to read this book. It's called Black. I'm gonna look it up, Sacrifice or something like that. Black People in Love.
Okay.
And she was talking about Martin Luther King and how Martin Luther King's ministry was, love your oppressor, right?
Mhm.
Like, love them, right? Like, and that's always been confusing to me, right? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's always been confusing, right? Like, because why? Right? Like, why would I love somebody that punches me in the face every morning before lunch? Why would I do that? Right? Like, and if that's the case, if these people do that to me, why would I put myself in a situation where I'm gonna go around them and be outnumbered?
I think that goes back to faith, right? MLK, he was a pastor. He was a preacher, and I believe in the Bible. They teach or they preach to love your enemies, love your neighbor, love everybody. I think that just goes back to faith. But I believe outside of that, um, yeah, we ain't. It just logically kind of just doesn't make sense.
But I don't think that there has been a lot of, and I think, and not trying to be rude to anybody, but I don't think there's a lot of logic behind it, right? Like even in, like, it was real emotional, real spiritual, real
Hmm.
uplifting, but like it actually, I mean, because everything that they fought for then, they are literally ripping it to shreds today.
Yeah, and I believe that's always been the plan.
Like, do you think it was, we're gonna let these niggas have this, and then we're gonna take it back because we don't want y'all to like riot or nothing like that, right? Like, because we've been having some wins, right? They sent a couple cops to jail after they killed some innocent black people,
Mhm.
even if not for life, for a little bit, right? Like, and we didn't burn down any cities or anything like that. Do you think it's like that's the plan, right? You know what I mean? Like, just to kind of pacify the masses for the time being, so that they don't, revolt, right? An emotional, protest.
Um, I don't think the plan is ever to give us anything or to
Mhm.
pacify per se. I can't think of a time in history where they needed to pacify us.
Yeah,
Um, like I don't, and not to say that there were not times where there were revolts and revolutions. There has been those pockets of history of our history where that happened. But overall, like there's never been a fear of any kind. I think the only time there, fears were, like when we boycotted things,
yeah.
right? Or when we had a president in office that, although racist, how can you explain a kid in a casket, right? So
Mhm,
there were these
mhm.
big things where, okay, they would concede certain things. And I don't think it was out of revolt. I think it was, the president's wife or something like that saying, like, come on now, like, let's do something. Like, you get this one thing, but I mean, there's still redlining in communities. Boys
Yeah,
still can't get a mortgage. There's still bad schools. So it's not like this, you know, let them progress and move forward. Is okay, let them have this one thing because there's still all of this on the other side of that, going on to where it don't even matter. you know. So
yeah,
I guess, yeah. So I guess you're right. Maybe pacifying in a sense, but overall, I don't think the plan was to ever let us have anything. We may have gotten pockets of it, but it never, like, their goals or their mission never changed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense, and I think that's, in the Bell Hooks book, she was, when she was talking about, excuse me, Martin Luther King's ministry and him telling us to like love our oppressors, and a lot of his message was for us to send love out, but not like, project it inwards, right? And I think a lot of what we suffer through as a community is that, like, no one really worked inside of the group to say, like, love on each other, right? Like, because how do we build real holistic community if we really don't give a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, if I really don't have deep love for black people, like, how am I gonna participate in that? Like, like, it's like going to, like, people say you lukewarm in the church, right? Like, you go to church, but you don't like really love God. How you really gonna get down? And it's the same thing, right? So if the most prolific black leader in the history of blackness
Hmm.
is telling all the people, his whole flock that is following him, to love somebody else, like, for who they are, even though they don't love you, they don't treat you with respect.
Right.
They want your children dead. They want everything that is to your detriment, but still show them love. What kind of mind fuck is that? For like generation after generation after generation after generation, and then they tell you that the high yellow nigga with the bright eyes, who is telling you they don't love you, you should not love them back, and we should build power for ourselves parallel to what they have going on. They tell you that he is the devil, and that he is wrong. And they tell you that people like Stokely Carmichael are wrong. And they tell you these guys are crazy, right? Like, but we are here now in 2026. And everything that our ancestors fought for is slowly being unraveled. Not even slowly anymore. It is
Yeah, like it's
literally a avalanche of snow coming down the hill, and niggas is running for their lives and getting crushed slowly.
I think a lot of people don't even know they're getting crushed. I think that's the awful part. They just kind of
Bruh,
like looking at the snow, and now it's in the snow. Like, well, you know,
they on Instagram scrolling, dog.
yeah,
That's the algorithm got us so siloed, right? Like, if you think about it, right? Like, everybody getting their information. Like, you can't, like, when you go in the house, your mama can't make you sit down and watch what she watching no more. Like, that's over.
yeah,
So all of that, like, collective, like, through line, like, when the Vietnam War happened and all those Emmett Till, like, that's all that you could consume.
yeah.
Now, there's so many different things to distract the masses that, like, they can just do whatever the fuck they want at a higher clip than they was before, because no one's paying attention, even though they doing it right in broad daylight.
I mean, they own the media, right? Ever since Trump took office, like what Paramount, not CBS, but a few other news channels, like they, as a pack, the billionaires, like they own media. Jeff owns media,
Yeah.
like Washington Post. Like there's very few outlets that we could actually read that are, nonpartisan, or
Mhm.
that are not, necessarily pushing an agenda. And journalism in itself isn't journalism anymore. Like we get these, small pieces of true journalism where, people are asking the real questions. But now I don't even think journalism is a real thing.
It's definitely in limbo. I would say that, because it's hard to discern who to actually listen to, because who is paying for you to write? Like,
Right.
because I mean, that's like the thing with our art, right? Like, artists need benefactors, because if you're an artist, most artists are not the best entrepreneurs. So if you write, you know what I'm saying, you a thinker, somebody has to pay for you to be able to put that stuff out. And who paying for it?
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think another theme with this, specifically, right? Because after looking at all the issues and the case and all of this kind of stuff, and hearing people say, there's a guy, I think I was speaking on this earlier. He was saying that that black people messed this up for that family, like making it racial. One, and two, right? Like, all of the advice that, like, they were being given from these so-called people was, like, super bad. So, like, if that is the other side of this, in moments like this, who are we listening to? Right? Like, who should they have listened to? Right? You got Charleston White on the internet, like, I'm on the phone with the daddy, right? Dr. Umar.
Oh God.
Yes. Yes.
They
Charleston
released-
White, like, I'm on the
they
yes,
was
I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with the daddy. Like,
Oh,
I'm talking to the parents, like, you know what I mean? Like,
wow.
and he like, yo, I called these people, I called those people, I called these people. And I applaud him for doing that. But I think that the message is right, but the messenger is wrong.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Because he may be doing something super, 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 super positive. But I think that and especially in a situation like this, I think that him being the person to disseminate that message, I don't know if he's the correct person to do so. I think that he should be making some things happen in the background to get people who may get more favorable treatment, as far as getting these people to respond. Because he kept saying that none of these black people wanted to come and, like, stand behind this little boy. And with it being so touchy, like, I can understand, especially a lot of these people being, like, public, them
Right.
not knowing, like, what side to be on, particularly. Because honestly, I didn't know what to think. Like, if you just hear it surface level, you just hear that a young man got stabbed in the chest. Then you find out that one arm was black and one arm was white. Then everybody starts saying, okay, well, he got jumped, and then he got this, and then he got that, and then he got
Yeah.
this. But everybody at the end of it is like, somebody died,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, So, right, if somebody died, and if somebody died, that means somebody need to go to jail. I don't give a damn what color you are. I don't care how old you are. If somebody died, somebody need to go to jail. And for the least, manslaughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
So,
but tell Kyle Rittenhouse that 4 people died.
right, he didn't he not go to jail? He need to be under the jail. They should have
No.
gave him the lethal injection.
He did not go to jail. Nope.
Yeah, and that is why, right, like it's hard to hear. I'm tired of hearing white people talk about shit like this because you're so tone deaf, because you are so entrenched in your whiteness and your and the privilege that it grants you, that you can't understand that your white counterparts are being harsh to these people, and you are completely turning a blind eye to the fact that there are young white people who commit atrocities all the time and they go to jail for 30 days and they get out.
Yep. Yeah. Brock Turner, I think he did like 30 days because the judge didn't want to ruin his life. I think he was a Stanford student. I think he was on a swim team.
Yeah.
Assaulted a lady, raped a lady, and got convicted and everything. And the judge said that he did not want to ruin his life, so he let him out in 30 days.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
either way, it was too damn short.
It's you if you do something fucked up to somebody, you need to go to jail. And I'm sad for other Negroes who feel like, oh my God, the justice system is supposed to work for us. When they wrote all of these laws, when they wrote the Constitution and everything, we weren't people. We were 3/5 of people? 3/4, 3/5? We weren't a whole person. That's first. When they wrote the Constitution, they were not talking about us.
No.
At all. We actually are not mentioned in there. That's all about white people. It's a white people's document. It is not like Americans. It is who they qualify to be white. Let's be clear, because being white is something that white people qualify other people for. Like when the Proud Boys decided they was going to have their online platform, they had to identify who was white. That's why when you go on there and it's like, he's Hispanic, they said that person was white. That's how they got to be a part of that. So like Rick Child, right? He's white. Even though we sitting here saying, oh, he's Asian. Asian people came here and petitioned for whiteness so they can get close to whiteness, so that it can have the access and the protection that whiteness brings. Because whiteness is a club. It is not a race. It is a club. And as long as you can provide and you are not a Negro, you can potentially petition to be white.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I feel for our black people, especially the more educated black people who see life in these rose-colored glasses. We have progressed so far that, oh my God, they would never treat us like this. And I remember, and I'm gonna bring them up again. Charleston White was like, I just did not believe that them white people would treat him like that. And I'm like, what?
Why not? Why not? Like what gives people the thought that things will be different? Like if you statistically look at data and the way things have happened throughout history, there's no way you should think anything else, Like that's like going over on CJ Stroud. Like you just crazy.
Go Jags. Shameless plug. Go Jags.
Like you just don't do it.
Yeah, because CJ gonna let you down. He gonna do that. CJ gonna let you down. Now that defense, they something else. But CJ,
yeah.
CJ,
but you don't put all your whole $25 in, in the wrong bucket. I mean, but I think a lot of people, especially our age, or even some a little bit older, that are a part of that. I want better for myself, or I want better for my kids. And better typically means white. I think they are under the impression that things are different, but I see every day I walk outside my door that nothing is different. It's all very much still the same.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't understand the cognitive dissonance of Negroes who equate better with white. And then they see things like this, and then they can go, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay.
Yeah, like you know what I mean, like because even like OJ, he had some bread and he got away with that, but they got him.
Eventually, yes.
Like,
Yeah, definitely got away on that boy, get away with that. I like we've moved to such a individualistic society that it's always about like what I'm experiencing, what's my day to day, what is it that I want to accomplish, what is it that I want to do. And at the same, I get it, like we have to make the best of our lives for ourselves. But at the same time, when you go away from community thinking and community approaches, you're siloed into like, your neighborhood that you live in where, you're a minority and you have the ability to feel that way. Right. So yeah, you get to not have to care because it's not happening to you or your neighborhood. And that's pretty much like what it is now. If it's not happening to us or if it isn't about us, we kind of just don't care. So like people are pro-Black right now for the moment, but there'll be something else in the news in about, I'll give it 2 days.
yeah,
that'll shift it. We already back making TikTok videos, so it don't matter.
Now I have seen less Young Miami memes. Yeah, I have seen less, even though I do love that song.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't Friday yet. Let's see what you see tomorrow.
I'm not gonna disagree with
people getting paid tomorrow, so they definitely trying to spend that.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to learn how to do the dance. I've been practicing. I'm gonna get it going. So we got another song by Jamie before we get into the second half of our conversation. Give me 1 minute. This song is called Solange, actually. Right, yeah, because we in the spirit of kicking ass, right? Put up.
We know she gonna put it down.
She gonna put it down, right? So this is Solange representing for the H, Jamie Hancock. Let's get into it.
I remember bumping Hove at the bus stop, praying I ain't gotta go back to this whack-ass job. Sending peace to God, cause I don't know how we made it this far. They screamed up before dishonor, explains what all the real done. I see the lead, but I'm hardly trying. I threw down the ladder, but my niggas hardly climbing. I'm just trying to get somewhere with a steady climate. When you slow boogie, everything come in perfect timing. I'm alluding to my money and my women. I can't make a move unless my heart in it. Got South Park Crips that'll roll for me and I ain't talking Timmy. Jump in my lane, I step back and take aim like my first name James. I bet that creates some space. Niggas talking beef like my life ain't been up for steaks. If you wanna floss like us, you gon' need more than Colgate. From the block where the skinniest known to hold the most weight, we removed the roof to escape. Candy painted Escalades, they just wanna be next to me for my escapades. I've been this way since running niggas' fades on Briar Forest in the DA. It's just in your DNA when you from the DEA, DEND. Southside niggas know what I mean. My pops push more keys in the H than Mike Dean. I'm a moving picture, pull up to the scene. It's some shit you ain't never seen. With a queen and some high-rise jeans, the point guard for my team. If I tell her to shoot, you already shot. Let me stop, I'm the cream of the crop. A spinning image of my pop, so it's a couple blocks I can't walk down, but still holding the H-time crime. You can come out to where I stay, see diamonds in our face, and we swing lane to lane. If I was king of the H for a day, everybody be riding candy paint. Then I go on a date with Solange for a day, let her be my little babe. And we can blaze on hay, reminisce On days we was rocking Southside fades. Now pay attention.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can ride to that. I
Yeah,
can ride
I love
to that.
that. I
I'm
love
messing
that.
with the sample. The
Yeah,
yeah, sunrise. Yeah.
yeah, he did that. He did that. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Jamie. So I sent you a YouTube video earlier
Mm-hmm.
of a spoken word poem by Wesley Frazier Keys called Invitation Revoked. If you have not seen this spoken word, and I'm not even like a poetry dude, I do enjoy it. You know, I might pull up to a Art Garden on Wednesdays. You know, shameless plug to whoever does that. I don't even know them people, but somebody's gonna watch this reel and they're gonna come see you. So you're welcome. Um, but you know, there's some pretty talented artists there, and this guy, he's from Chicago, Wesley Frazier Keys, and it just I saw it earlier today, and it just fit with the theme of the show so well. I feel like, and you know, going back to the theme of why do we need to populate white spaces to feel better about ourselves? Why do we have to do that? Like what? Like why? Like why did Grandma Pearl tell Jada that white ice was colder? Right? Like why she do that? Like I like you know the self hate is just so apparent. Right? And like Negroes not loving themselves and not loving their communities and not loving the things around them, right? Everybody go to church and they say, God give you everything you need, give you everything you need. But then y'all pack up, you take your money and you go out there and you spend and increase white people's tax base. I don't think the Lord is pleased with you. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think God blessed you for you to be able to take your black dollars and to go give that to George Zimmer Green or whoever the fuck else lives in the lands in every periphery city that white people went off and made outside of cities, whether it is Houston, whether it is Detroit, whether it is Atlanta. I don't give a damn where it is. All them places where white people said, we don't want to live around y'all. And their grandmoms and their granddaddies and all of them, they packed up and they left the neighborhoods and they let the public schools go to shit and all of that. And you're going to pack up and say, yeah, we're going to go over there with y'all, even though y'all didn't even fucking want us here anyway. And they're telling y'all to go home, Roger, every goddamn day. And then you just like, no, it's okay. The law said we can be here. Let me pull out my camera. Like, man, what's wrong with niggas? Like,
Oh man.
why? Like, why do you think we keep inviting these people to the cookout? Why is it okay for the weatherman to do the Dougie on TV and niggas get excited about it? Like, why?
You know, I'll say this. None of the people that I grew up with, we not invite nobody to the cookout. I think it goes back to like, you know, like how you're raised, where you're raised, what schools you went to. I mean, old school black people ain't invite nobody to the cookout because they knew or they were, you know, living in a climate to where when we did have safe spaces, we wanted to keep those safe. We wanted a space to be ourselves. We wanted a space to play our music, to love on each other, to fellowship. And I think as the years went on, you know, we didn't educate, you know, people that are our age or our parents' age on, hey, this is a safe space. And
Yeah.
then you think about, you know, people online inviting people to the cookout. Those are people our age. They went to white schools. You know, like they went to schools that were, you know, mixed, which is, you know, fine. But again, like they don't even know the value of a safe space. They don't even know what an all, but they don't even know what it feels like to be in an all black space. So of course they're inviting people to the cookout. Half of them ain't even never been to a real cookout. You know, so and I also think it's, you know, proximity to whiteness or it sounding cool or it being funny on social media. But I think for the most part, a lot of us don't know the value of having a space that we call our own, that's safe to be who we are. Because again, they didn't go to an all black church. They didn't go to all black elementary school, middle school, high school, college.
Yeah.
So they're used to being amongst them at all times of their lives, every phase of their lives, versus you know, some of us. I don't think I got my first non-black teacher until college.
Really?
Yeah, until college. That was my first time being taught by someone that's, not African American. Um, so that shaped, where I choose to live. And that's why you can't come to the cookout. And even what's funny is 75% of white people don't have any interaction with black people their entire lives outside of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. I learned that. So, I grew up in military background, so I grew up, pretty multicultural, right? But I'm from an all black community in Virginia called Berkeley. But growing up, wasn't nobody else in my neighborhood but black people. There was this one young lady. I don't even know if she was white, but she was like super, super, super fair skinned. We could never figure out what her race was, but she was, an anomaly because everybody around us was black. It was black all the time. We only saw white people when we left the neighborhood, and we'd go to the mall or something like that, like something that we just didn't have access to. So when my mom and my stepdad got married, we started moving around. That was the first time I had seen a Mexican person. It was the first time I had ever met like any actual African people, like Asian people, stuff like that. Well, I take that back. I had a good friend in elementary school. Her name was Elmi Lynn Flores. She was Filipina. She was like the only Asian person I had ever come in contact with. Outside of that, but it was pretty insulated with black people. So when I did start to do more integrating, there was a learning curve. On like, what I'm saying, like how to behave and like what to do and how to interact. Yeah, how to interact with the older white people and stuff like that. And even in the military, like we would, you could feel the microaggressions. Like you go to the base, we go to the movies and stuff like that, and the way the older white people would talk to you, it's like they felt like they had like this unspoken authority over you. Like if they tell you to move, you need to move. Like you better not like question it or like look or whatever the case may be, or we'll tell your dad superior because who do you think you are? And it's like, what in the hell? Where did y'all bring me to? Like, what is this? Right? Like, who are these people and why do they feel like this? So when I came to Prairie View, it was like, oh my God, like, right? So much blackness. Then when I came to Houston, like, I fully immersed myself in I'm only going to live where black people are. If I can afford it, I'm going to only live where black people are because why would I not? Right? Like I've experienced all of these weird microaggressions and I don't feel like it's worth it for me to be able to live closer to a grocery store to have to deal with racism.
Facts.
Yeah, like I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Like if that's the case, like I'll commute, right? But when I go back into the community, right, like Miss Mary Green lived next door, you know what I'm saying, and she cool, she need help taking her trash out, stuff like that. We can do that. But I want to go to where everybody know my name. I want my neighborhood to feel like Cheers. Not, you know what I mean? Like I think that it's a lost art of like knowing your neighbor, right? Like that like you said, that kind of community. And I think that trying to bring everybody to the cookout has diluted the water in the community because now like we don't hold anything sacred, right? Like I know a big thing when I joined HBAD a long time ago was there was a big argument about why our white members are unallowed to vote. Like non-black members are unallowed to vote, right? Like, and it was a long time ago that white people basically co-opted the organization.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right. Like, one of the eldest, put me on game, right? Like, how it works politically. We usually, right? I mean, black people, we usually don't have a lot of financial resources to be able to contribute to the political process. And we also don't have a lot of free time to contribute to the political process. That doesn't work in our favor when we have a group that creates endorsement to be able to get our community to like go out and vote.
Right.
So if you are of the wealthy class and you know that there's a club like this, you can co-opt and take over if you have financial resources and time. And they did that at a point in time. And they ended up putting like a whole bunch of people that were not necessarily supportive of the black community on the slate card, and they won. So, they decided that this was going to be a safe space forever.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, but at the end of the day, right, like you said, we have to have, if there aren't things that are for us and that we can't proudly say these things are for us, like, what are we doing? Right? Like, because
Yeah.
just being able to live without the dignity of ownership, without the dignity of autonomy over your life and your decisions and things like that, what is the point of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, and if you are going to go to a place where the perceived white ice is colder, you have to be prepared for the aggression that is going to come with it. Like, if you stay, in a place that is predominantly black, you may lack the amenities that they have there.
Yeah.
But what we lack in amenities, we have in community. And the people around here are going to rally together to be able to help one another versus you being an enemy of the state in foreign land.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't see it that way.
I just don't get why.
I guess it's free will, man. It's free will. That's all I can chalk it up to, and again, like, so, certain people aren't so ingrained in Black culture to where they have to be around it. Like, for myself, like, I have to be around it. Like, I could live anywhere in the city of Houston. I could have moved to the Heights. I could live in Rodeo Palms or Pomona, whatever. I could go to all those places, but the neighborhood that I grew up in was also all Black.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just what I'm used to. This is what makes me feel comfortable. I don't, like, there's no microaggressions that happen out here. Like, I know the whole street. I know the elders on the street. It's all love on the block.
Yeah.
Sometimes at night, some a loud car coming by, banging screw. I know it's a slab. I'm cool with it. My
Yeah.
neighbor might be up late playing Chic or disco music. I'm cool with it. Like, at least I like the music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
things like that I don't feel like, or I don't want to live without, because our culture is so important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Same. Like, same. I don't envy anybody who don't live around blackness.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I drive to the gym.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
grocery store,
Yeah.
and those are things that, we're working on, or things that
Mhm.
we are, keeping people from, I guess, coming back to our neighborhoods. But, like, those are things that are visible, and, community leaders, especially of our generation that are up and coming, like, those are things that we're paying attention to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if people did come back, we would get those things a lot quicker, or we'd be able to find creative ways to be able to create those things, right? Because it's
Right.
Co-ops, all those different kind of things. All these young, bright professionals, especially all of y'all who done got laid off. You got some time. You got a severance package. Come back to the hood.
And that's another thing. Like, you went and got all of this education, and you went to the better schools, but come time to lay off, all 300,000, you laid off, no matter where you went to school. Was it mixed or was it not? No matter who your mentor was, you're laid off, and you're having a hard time in the job market, because certain companies don't have, dollars or a concerted effort to make sure that their workforce is balanced.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, and I do, Derek, I do want to address this. I ain't disagreeing with you about coexisting. I do not disagree with you. We do. But
When has love won?
love ain't never won.
I ain't never like read in history about a war and somebody like, yeah, love. Look, when when is love?
Yeah, love ain't never won. Cause if love would have won, then Carmelo Anthony would have got 10 years for manslaughter. Because there would have been some compassion that this young man fucked up. I made a mistake. Just like she named, I don't know how many white boys who did some atrocious things, and they are free. They young white man sexually assaulted somebody's daughter. And another white man said he did not want to ruin his life, but this white man ruined her life. And he is free in the world to possibly ruin somebody else's daughter's life. So, I mean, like, coexisting with insane white Christian nationalists who exert patriarchy over the community for their own capitalistic gain is not something that I'm particularly interested in. Derek, you my dog. And we're going to preface this by saying I'm not talking about all white people because I fuck with you, Derek. Just like I fuck with Snooch's Booch's crazy ass when he get on this motherfucker and he get on Beyonce internet talking all crazy. It's not all white people, but the what is this the elk? Is that a right way to say it? The elk? It's the problem, bro. Like it's absolutely absurd, right? I was telling the story, right? I went to Detroit, Michigan to go work a campaign with this group called the Progressive Turnout Project. Right. This is when I found out that I'm not as progressive as I thought I was, right? So go up to Michigan. I'm in a place called Livonia. Livonia is apparently one of the most racist places in America. Livonia, Michigan. You look at that. It's outside of Detroit. When I was up there, I lived on the east side of Detroit. You know, Detroit don't, as far as like big stores and stuff like that, I don't have a lot. But I absolutely adore Detroit. I think it is one of the most beautiful cities in America. It's one of the blackest places I've ever been. And it's one of the places that have made me feel the best about myself. I probably hadn't felt that good about myself in so long till I moved to Detroit. That is just how powerfully black it is up there. Like, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So I am the regional or district or whatever. I'm managing this region for this organization, right? So I have to build a team of people. So I put my ads up on Indeed, stuff like that. I get these applications. And I'm right, like, well, I'm from Virginia, but right, I'm from Texas. So I get in my car, I drive up there, I go to Detroit, right? But I'm black. I'm in Detroit, I'm chilling. I get a room. I rent a room with this dude. Shout out to my boy, LaRon Lightfoot. Math for Success is doing a great job. Like, I'm going to have to introduce you to Math for Success and LaRon Mill. But he got this math tutoring company and it's amazing working within Detroit public schools and all this other kind of stuff to help young black people, just young people, period, with their math and arithmetic. It's a great program. So I'm living with bro. And at the time, he was like a mechanical engineer or something like that for GM. So well-to-do brother, right? We live in a nice community on the east side. It's called Jefferson Chalmers. It's very manicured, beautiful home, stuff like that, right? So nothing that, whatever people told me about Detroit, when I got to Detroit, it was nothing that I was told, right? Like, at least not from my perspective. But I'm also a black man, right? So, though I don't know where those stories came from, but I had an amazing time. So putting my team together and I'm interviewing all these white people and I'm asking them to meet me in Detroit. You know how many people told me they would not come and meet me at that Starbucks across from, I think it was like by Wayne State University in downtown Detroit. It was at least 12 people and they needed jobs.
Oh, okay.
They were like, we will not come there. We will not go there. We're not going in there at all. We don't even drive into the city of Detroit. Are you kidding me? Detroit? They wouldn't even come in the city, dog. I had this, I was like appalled, right? So I finally get my team together, right? And one dude, I hired him and he just kept asking me, are you sure? Am I going to have to go to Detroit? Am I going to have to go there? Like, please, like, let me know. Am I going to have to go there? And I'm like, dog, like, I'm offended. Like, I'm not even from here, right? But I'm offended for Detroiters, right? Because what the fuck's going on, right? So I'm in Livonia on lunch break one day, and somebody had told me, bro, they real racist out there. And I'm standing in line trying to get a Snickers bar. I'll never forget this. And I'm standing there and I'm next. And this old white lady just gets in front of me. She just steps in front of me. And I'm looking around like, what's going on? Right? Like, and I'm like, hey, and the guy was like, apparently the cashier waved her to pass me up. And he looked at me and said, you're still deciding what you want. Nigga, is this McDonald's? I'm standing here with the candy bar in my hand. Like I have my item. Fuck is you talking about? Ring me up. You don't know what you want, sir. I'm going to take care of her first, and then I'm going to get with you. What's going on here? Please tell me what's happening. Because this is not be respectful to your elders. And I have never experienced anything like this before. So I don't know what to feel, and I'm baffled. Yeah. What is going on? Why did you treat me like this? Like, what is it that I'm feeling? What is this experience that I'm going through? Lord, please help me. Please help me discern with what's happening right now. After I get done, I'm so upset. But I got the munchies. I want my candy. So I buy it.
On fire.
I buy it, and I'm sitting outside in the car. And this is when I came up with a racism. This person did a racism to me.
Oh man.
Because and the crazy part is I have been called a nigger before. But it was this old white man. I was living in Jacksonville, Florida. I think I was in like the 8th or 9th grade. And I got off the bus and I was walking home. And I used to live on the west side of Jacksonville in a neighborhood called Paxton. So I'm walking home and this old white man had like this double wide house on the corner. And I walked by his gate, his dog went up, and he, nigga, get away from my gate. And I'm like, okay, like what? You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, why you bugging out like that? But the candy bar thing felt worse than that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like, and I replay that in my mind all the time. And I try not to have that kind of like, you know what I'm saying, reaction, right? Like, cause I used to be real open to people. Mm-hmm. Like, right? Cause I told you I grew up real multicultural. I used to be real open, like not guarded, not like what's wrong with white people. Like I wasn't like this for a long time until that shit started happening to me. And I'm like, I don't like this. Like, what's happening? Like, why? Like, what is going on?
You know, we always get initiated. You know, there's going to be something that happens to you that's going to remind you or flash in front of your eyes to let you know that you Black. I remember I was working at a fast food restaurant in Pearland, and not the new Pearland, like, you know, where all the Black people go to HEB. Mm-hmm. This was, you know, almost 20 years ago. The old side of Pearland, what they call old Pearland.
Yeah.
And they came into the restaurant and they were like, you know, I don't basically they didn't use the N-word or nothing like that, but it was an old white guy and his grandson was even with him. And he was like, you know, I don't want any of y'all touching my food. And we did have one white person on the staff at the moment. And he was just like, yeah, I want you to make my food and ring me up. I don't want them even touching, you know, the box or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And I ain't gonna say what happened to his food, but you know, we had to help him, you know, but that was like my first like direct experience of like, wow, like, oh, okay, you know, and that's a very mild experience compared to yours, but I was just like, oh, that's
nonetheless though, like it makes you go, I'm a person.
Yeah.
But like I'm not a thing. I'm not dirty. I was out the other day, right? And Derek, I'm gonna get to your comments. I was out the other day and met this white lady, and she has a mixed child, and the baby's name is Delasha. right? Now, when I asked the little girl what her name was, she said her name was Delasia, and I love Ebonics. And I'm like, that's a beautiful name. Like, I'm so proud of whoever named you that, right? Like, I'm like gleaming with black pride. All the while, this white lady named this girl Delasia.
You laughing. Not you laughing. That's wild.
Right.
That's horrible.
Bro, like I was like I was mind fucked. I'm not even
Man, look.
but I appreciate her appreciation for the culture. Right. But like I'm saying this, I'm saying that to say, right, you know what I mean? Because right, clearly her baby daddy is black, right? You know what I'm saying? She like black men, stuff like that. You know, that's a thing. Whatever. Get your chocolate, girl. Not mad at you. But the funny thing was, she was telling us, you know, because you know, I'm pretty charismatic. I make people feel comfortable. So people say whatever, right? And she was like, you know, I'm so embarrassed about this story. But when I was younger, you know, she's from, like you were saying, 75% of white people don't actually have any real interactions with black people outside of work. And she was saying there was like not too many black people at her school growing up. And she pinched this black boy to see if the dirt would come off his arm because she thought he was dirty because she had never seen a black person before. And that is the extent of like what we're dealing with as a people. And I wish so many more black people understood that. Like the level of ignorance that people learn about us. Like and how that ignorance ultimately affects us like mentally. Like and like economically, right? How it affects our entire existence.
Yeah.
Like, because the mental gymnastics that we're talking about that people have to go through to become somebody like OJ, right? Like, is insane. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, I guess with a few hits to the head, it get a little easier. But
Yeah. I mean, somebody dropped them babies. Let me see. So, take racist out your vocabulary. It's about being empathetic, create division. All right. So, okay, let me. Where am I going to start with this? Where am I going to start? I can't take racist out of my vocabulary because racism is a thing that I experience in my life quite often, especially on the internet now, like quite a lot. That's first. So it's not necessarily a buzzword. It's more of like people who look like us, like sharing our experience with like the ignorance of like white America. White Americans have been using Christianity to oppress us for a long time. I'm at the belief that like we may even believe in different gods. Like I'll even go as far as to say that because I don't understand how like the God I believe in and the God that the person who hung my great cousin and like you know what I'm saying defiled him. Like I don't believe that we praise the same God. Like now, all of y'all could call me blasphemous for that or whatever the case may be, but it makes no sense for you to tell me that the Lord that I serve is the same Lord that the person who would violate my ancestors. That's the same God. That's that there. So if we're gonna bring up Christianity, we need to talk about the different sects of Christianity and the way that Christianity has been used to oppress people who look like us. Like, and yes, I am damn near 40. And that was in my, I was 29 when that happened. But I had already been called a nigga before when I was like 14. So like I had been probably, you know, I'm a 90s baby though. So I had probably experienced racism a bunch of times. But like not actually like feeling it because, you know, like it don't feel like 1965. Right? You think that's accurate, Mel?
yeah, and that's nice of you. I don't explain racism to white people.
I mean, no, I don't have a problem. Like, you know, like there, I don't have a problem educating anybody, right? If you want to have a conversation, I got a couple words for you, right? Like, you know,
Yeah, I even think like just laying out a timeline of Black history, like the end of Jim Crow. You know, let's say slavery, Reconstruction period. You know, Jim Crow. Like it's what been like what 50, 60 years
hell yeah.
of not being equal or kind of being equal, being afforded some opportunities, and take it out of my vocabulary, that's insane.
I mean, it's I'm
And and to say like to say that we don't experience it, right? Like I was recently getting my house, one of my properties appraised, and the appraisal game.
mm-hmm.
When you black, you got to take out your cultural stuff. You got to make sure ain't no black people, ain't no black stuff in your house, or you risk your appraisal being lower, than that of somebody that's white, just because you are black, and historically, you know, redlining, mortgages, the way that they, zone or break up our neighborhoods, like that's still a thing. Like right now, like to this day, I got my
Yeah.
house appraised 2 weekends ago, and I had to think really hard about if I should show up or should I send a different person.
Yeah, I would have sent a white person.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I would have sent a white person. I got a white friend for that. Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like all black people have, like, if you are like black and you in any of those kind of spaces, like, you have a white proxy. Like you gotta have a white proxy. You can't not have a white proxy. If you don't have a white proxy, you're not doing business for real as a Negro. Like, and it's fucked up that it's like that, but you need one, and like, and I'm
that's because of racism.
Yeah, for sure. But I appreciate, like, the point of this, the point of politics is to open up dialogue that otherwise would not be open. Right. Yeah. So, like, whatever it is you want to say, however it is you feel, I want to know how people feel, so that, like, as somebody who has adorned themselves the role of, cultural curator, community activist, I want to be able to effectively participate in the movement, and I need to be able to know the sentiments of people who look like me and people who don't look like me, so that we can be able to move strategically. So anybody can come into the space, and this space is a free space. Wherever your race is, whatever your political affiliation is, religious affiliation is, this is a space for free thought and for people to be able to ask questions and educate themselves. And you know what I'm saying, him taking the time to be able to educate himself and have that free flowing debate, like, that's fully welcomed. Because there's, people that said, people say some crazy shit. I had a motherfucker tell me I look like I work at Kmart. I got 2 degrees. Kmart closed.
I ain't even open. Really, you unemployed.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't like, I'm Tommy. That nigga ain't got no job. Like, you can't know what you talking about. You know what I mean? Like, so it's stuff like that, right? But we're gonna get into this last. So, man, I got some questions for you. I think the people that have gotten to know you a little bit, we're going to delve into that a little bit more, right? So you spoke about your house, spoke about your houses. You are building, right, like this, this black-owned conglomerate, right? Fashion, real estate, technology, that will help be able to, fund your lifestyle and also your activism in the community. But you spoke on it a little bit earlier, but, like, most black people like yourself, they buy all of that stuff and they don't live nowhere near it. Right? Like, what would be your message to people like you that are participating opposite of you? Like, if you were to say, like, man, like, this is the value in this, like, what would you say to them?
I have this conversation with friends, honestly. So, my message, or the way that I speak about it, is simply that, there's value in being black. There's value in being around your community. And the reason that you feel like you have to go somewhere else for a better life for yourself or a better life for your children is because someone before you chose to move. Someone before you chose not to stay. Things don't get better if we don't stay and develop our areas. And even if I don't want to even give that spiel, I talk about the financial piece of it, right? When it comes to real estate, all the money that I've made in real estate has been in the Sunnyside area. When I started buying property in Sunnyside, you can get one, let's say 5,000 square foot lot for about $10,000 to $20,000. One 5,000 square foot lot in Sunnyside now might run you $100,000. Um, we're our neighborhoods are essentially neighborhoods that are in the city, close to the city, areas that a lot of people want ownership in. So even from a financial, from an investment perspective, our neighborhoods hold they hold a lot of value.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes
Um,
sense. I mean, hey, did you read? Have you read Powernomics by Claude Anderson?
I have not. I have to
So
add.
Dr. Claude Anderson has a book called Powernomics, and it's like a economic philosophy for like black upper mobility. And like what you were saying about the value in black communities, right? A lot of our like public utilities and infrastructure reside in our communities, right? Like, so if we do own the land around these things, we do have greater say about like how these things operate and things like that, right? Like our political capital grows, and we have more of a say about like what happens in the areas. And I don't think that we necessarily talk about that enough.
Nah, for sure.
Um, so tonight's show is called Invitation Revoked, right? Mel said after we close the gates, nobody else can get in. What was the moment that made you decide that?
Moment that made me decide that I can't say it was any one moment. I think it was just being raised in like this black utopian space.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really experienced anything outside of that until going into the workforce. So I've always believed that our spaces were sacred. I've always believed that there was things that we needed to hold close to ourselves and for ourselves. I never truly believed anything else. You
Yeah,
know, so I don't even think it was one moment. I think it was like this, just being raised and groomed and loved by, I think some of the best, educators, teachers, uncles, aunts that, the community and the culture had to offer.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I was never under any impression that I I needed things that were outside of us to be successful or to live a good life.
yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. That's dope. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna clip the shit out of that. Um, and Derek wants to know real quick, and then we'll go to my next question. What happened to diversity is our strength? Going back to my Martin Luther King argument, I don't know if bro really looked out for us in the best way. I know he did the best way he tried, but before white people came and blew everything up that black people work hard for, our strength was in our collectivism. It wasn't in diversity because we weren't able to be diverse. We had banks, we had movie theaters, we had grocery stores, we had our own saloons. There were lawyers, doctors, plumbers in the community. People didn't have to go outside the community to go to work. Right now, if you live in Sunnyside, South Park, Fifth Ward, Third Ward, Acres Homes, you have to go so far outside of your community to find employment. There's no dollars really circulating through these communities. A lot of these communities are food deserts. Our communities did not look like that before we were forced into diversity. So I think that it's an American trope, like a great American trope. And I definitely think that it's a joke because though Houston is the most diverse city in the South, it's actually one of the most segregated places I've ever lived. I don't. I mean, outside of my few white neighbors who live over here, I don't see white people unless I go to where white people are.
And that's by design. For
Yeah,
diversity to really be a real thing, the power structure of the majority has to believe in diversity. And when
yeah,
we see how they feel about that. So
yeah. Because
like
it's
diversity is
definitely
one thing, this singular thing that one group needs to believe in. Everybody has to believe in diversity for diversity to work.
yeah, totally, totally. So you are the president of the Sunnyside Super Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes. Could you briefly explain to the audience what a super neighborhood is and why you decided to partake in this? Like, why was it important for you to revitalize this club?
So the super neighborhoods, they're all around Houston. Most neighborhoods in Houston have a super neighborhood, or they have had a super neighborhood at some point. And essentially, you can think of the super neighborhood as a liaison between the community and the city of Houston. And what we do is we listen to concerns of the neighborhood. We evaluate our neighborhood for what we need. We act as a barrier of protection for things that are happening to or within the neighborhood, and we try our best to escalate that up to elected officials, not only on the city side, but on the county side as well. And for communities like Sunnyside, South Park, South Acres, Crestmont, Acres Homes, Fifth Ward. It's really important for us, and really any part of Houston, to have active super neighborhoods and to participate in super neighborhoods, because people that are in power, people that hold the economic or the power structure, they're going to do things to you. If you have no voice, or you don't vote, you don't stand up, or you don't say like, hey, I'm here, this is not what I want, those things are going to happen. Like, you're going to end up with a data center, right? Smack dab in the middle of your neighborhood. Like, you have to have some voice around what happens to your community. And when it came to Sunnyside, COVID hit. Sunnyside was one of the hardest hit areas when it came to COVID. So we did have super neighborhoods prior to COVID, but as soon as COVID hit, a lot of our leaders in the neighborhood passed away. So we were inactive for a very long time. And I remember just trying to figure out, like, how do we get our voice back as it relates to, the city of Houston? How do we become represented in the super neighborhood, since that's like one thing that the city recognizes? We had to activate that to really get a seat at the I guess the political table when it came to the city of Houston.
Okay, that's all right. And shameless plug, how would anybody get involved with you if they wanted to come and help and support?
So the Sunnyside Super Neighborhood, we meet every Thursday, every fourth Thursday, every fourth Thursday of the month at the Sunnyside Multi-Service Center on Reed Road. And also we do have an Instagram page. Let me make sure I give the right name of the Instagram page, where we post, when the meetings are, when things are happening. Our Instagram page is Sunnyside_SN71, because all the super neighborhoods have numbers. So on IG, you can follow at Sunnyside_super neighborhood 71.
And we'll make sure to clip this information and share it so that anybody interested can get involved, for sure. I think that's honorable. I'm not gonna lie. I've been educating myself, because though I'm not a native Houstonian, I've been living here like my entire adult life. I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life. But I lived here as a transplant for a long time, right? And when you come here, like, there's no like, hey, like, a fellow Black person, welcome to Houston. Here's your Black Houston guide. Like, this is where you can find other Negroes, right? It would be nice if that existed, right? when Black people come, right? Because when people come here from foreign countries and stuff like that, like, there's like a welcome committee, right, in their communities and stuff like that. They help them find housing and all this other kind of stuff. And I really wish that for Black people. I really wish that, like, if you came here from Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Birmingham, wherever the case may be, right, you come here, you just don't end up in Katy because you don't know no better. Right. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with Katy, but, like, I'm saying, like, if your plan was to come to Houston because it's real Black, I don't want you to, like, jump over all of the places where we commune, right, and then end up out there and have to and work your way back in.
Yeah.
And, you got to commute and stuff like that, right? Like, it's crazy. If you came here for the Blackness, you should be able to come here for the Blackness. You should be able to find church, be able to find community centers, be able to find political outlets to get involved in. Like, we definitely need, like, our own little, like, welcome to Houston Green Book kind of thing, right? If we're going to, be this, like, Black hub of, like, culture and influence, which Houston is slowly turning into, I think it's, about time that we, like, fully step into it. And I say all that to say that I have been fully stepping into my Houstonianness and, educating myself on how to be a better citizen, like, and participate in the city and in the county and be able to affect change through my talents. Look, oh man, thanks, Derek. That's so nice. Remember, Jesus is good. I appreciate that, Derek. That's very nice. See, look at love. That's real love. I appreciate that, Derek. All right, I got one more question for you, Mel. And this right here, I really want your honest opinion because if I ain't nothing, I'm a Democrat and I'm a diehard Dem. And I definitely want to know, especially as a Sunnyside representative and as a black woman here in America, how are you currently feeling about the Democratic Party and like, their participation, in black upper mobility and black voter outreach? Like what could they be doing better? What are they doing wrong? Like, give it to them wrong.
Um, I think, man, that's layered. But I feel like recently, even historically, right? I feel like Black women have played a major part in, Democratic successes. Democrats winning in certain areas, but when it's time to lead, especially on a national level, you don't see, real Black representation, especially, from Black women.
Uh-huh.
And I would say now I feel like I'm in a bad relationship when it comes to saying that I'm a Democrat. I actually don't say it, right.
Word.
I
I gotta
just
drop. I gotta drop a. I gotta drop a clue bomb.
yeah, I don't say it. The way I vote is the way I vote at the time in the booth. And I think what it comes down to is Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, like we've seen time and time again where we've been qualified to lead and it just doesn't go that way. So yeah, I feel taken advantage of by the Democratic Party, and I even have like I'm conflicted. I'm still conflicted
Mm.
about you know how I'm going to show up in November. You know,
Mm.
you know.
I like give me a little bit more on that conflict because I once we get through with this, I have a message for somebody who has been talking shit on my TikTok, and I'm gonna let them have it because I'm gonna clip it up so that they know comments, and I want you to know that you are full of shit. Right. But yes,
So
please expound on that.
yeah, so when it comes to and I think this is really the hot thing when it comes to James Talarico, right? You know, do I automatically just throw my vote behind James Talarico? And the answer for me is no. Like, oh boy has to earn my vote. Like the same way he spent money campaigning in those different parts of Texas, trying to flip the MAGA voters, all of that kind of stuff. If you're gonna put effort and energy into that, you can put energy into us, and you have until November to do it. And if you don't, I I think I may skip that. And I get the whole would you prefer him over Ken Paxton? I don't know. I feel like Philly felt a little bit different about Fetterman too. Um so I I don't know him. I don't know him. I just know he was a teacher that ended up, you know, leading a space in Texas, and that's not enough for me to vote for him. And they like, well, Ken Paxton gonna do X, Y, and Z. My voting rights have already been suppressed. Affirmative action DEI has already rolled back. Like, what more can happen to me under Ken Paxton that like what more can happen, right? That we
Mm-hmm.
can't deal with. 300,000 Black women have lost jobs and are unemployed. Like, again, what does my vote for Tellerico? What is that gonna get me? And
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel like for a long time, Black women, we're always, like we always have to put aside, what we feel is the best thing for us for the greater good. we always have to do things for the greater good. I don't think I feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
See,
and I'm all
and
right
I
with
would like to make a disclaimer, right? We didn't talk about this before the show, right? And I have for a couple times I have railed on his campaign, and I have railed on his campaign quite a few times for the exact same reason that you're talking about right now. And my comment, there's a page that follows me on TikTok called James Terlico Clips. And because I was railing about him, they have been commenting on my content, saying that what we are saying is wrong. That he is engaging black voters, that he is coming to the community, that he is putting his best foot forward, and we are not acknowledging him, that he is doing everything that we are saying he is not doing, and I don't appreciate whoever this person is. I'm going to assume that they are a well-to-do white person, calling me a liar. I don't appreciate that.
You know what? I've seen clips of him being in the rooms with, the black political influencers, but I'm not into influencer culture. So him meeting and talking to them, that means nothing to me. Like I don't care. You know, host something at TSU that I can pull up in and get a feel for you and your energy and who you are. Show up somewhere where actual community members are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care what group of influencers he gets in the room. Like what other rooms are you moving in? Where are you showing up in black spaces that are meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's already done enough like things to kind of have me like, you know what, just hell nah. But I'm still willing, because this is an abusive relationship, like I said. I'm still willing to hear him out, and he has until November, the day before, and I early vote. He has until the start of early voting to persuade me that a vote for him is the right vote.
And that is the sentiment of a lot of black women. That is the sentiment of a lot of black voters right now, right? And it's sad because he is the top of our Democratic ticket here, and that wavering in support is really going to come at his detriment, because he's not going to make it over the hump without the black voters. And I do believe that their strategy is to court those middle of the road white Republicans who who may be disillusioned with Trump. But if I know one thing for sure and two things for certain, those people, though they may not like Trump, they don't want to vote for a Democrat.
No.
And I think that's a terrible strategy to go. I think that not being comfortable to show up in black spaces is going to cause his demise. But also trying to court those people who are adamantly fighting to oppress people who you like need to vote for you is like it's all ass backwards. So James Terlico Clips, y'all need to get y'all boy to do his goddamn job. This is from me to you. Get him to do his job. Show up in black places where community actually exists. Don't hang out with the upper echelon. Don't hang out with the bourgeoisie. Go talk to young black folks. Go and talk to black clergy, right? Like, if you do, I'm going to know. Someone's going to tell me.
Right.
No. Like, so it's not like who is this guy on this podcast? I'm somebody around here. If you show up, I'm gonna know. And the moment you show up, I'm gonna tell everybody on the internet, hey y'all, he showed up.
Yeah, and I'm willing to do the same. And I'm always on people vote. Show up. I ain't said that yet, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you, because I am conflicted and I do feel the way that I feel, and I do want people to vote because the down ballot, it does matter, for sure. The closer it is to the bottom, the closer it is to my day to day. But at the same time, if his claim to the office is going to be the people that he flipped, let's see if it works.
Yeah, I'm not. What's that? What's not Prize Picks? Poly Market. I'll go put my money on Poly Market against that when it's time. I'm taking the. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the under. Yeah, that's how you gamble, right? That's how you.
That
That's how
is.
you gamble. Yeah, I'm gonna take the under on that one because he's definitely gonna get less votes than he thinking he gonna get. I'm gonna take the under.
And I
Yeah,
hate that I feel this way. I really do. And there are moments where I'm just like, I would never say this or I would never do this, because since my voting life, I've always like voted like from 18 on to now. And this is truly the first time that I really feel like it's a shock to me
yeah.
that I feel like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And the crazy part is, there's a picture like this will get clipped and you'll see it. There's a picture. When James Terlico first came to Harris County, like I was a fan, right? Like I was super excited about his campaign. I was elated, like because I used to watch him. Like he was one of my favorite political figures in the state house. Like I thought he was great. And as far as that, like middle of the road, like nice white boy Christian thing, I definitely thought that was something that he could sell statewide to be able to like really make a difference if he campaigned correctly. But as his campaign has gone on, I have lost that fervor. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not understanding what's going on. And I told him when I saw him, yo, I believe in you. I believe in what you got going on, and I want to help you any way I can. And he is completely out of line with the way that he is dealing with black voters, and has left a terrible taste in my mouth. And I don't like it. And I want him to do better because I don't want him to lose. I don't want us to lose. I'm tired of losing. I'm a Democrat. Been losing for a long time. Don't want him to lose. But also, like the the bad vibes between him and black people, that's not cool either. Like,
Yeah, it is. And then what I will say about the Democratic Party overall, and this is just what I'm experiencing from, my space and community. And I even say this for myself, right? The same people are always going to vote, right? Like even when I'm hosting meetings, there's always going to be this set group of 30 to 40 to 50 people that always come out. And I think change happens when we reach the people that are not coming to the meetings, the people that are working two jobs, the people who are, not truly engaged in the political process. What's the effort to reach them, to truly engage and educate that group of people? That's where I feel like the Democratic Party lacks. We lack in messaging to, like, how the other side has dog whistles where,
yeah.
the not the lowest of the low, but like, they go vote, right? Because they have strong messaging. There's this one thing that they know that they want and that they're going to vote for, which is whatever. And we don't have that. The Democratic Party, it's this, we want that. Like, what's that singular message that's catchy, that's only a couple of words, that will reach the people that don't typically engage in community meetings or, anything political, but you can reach them on an ad and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna give y'all some money.
Yes. Hey.
Yeah. We're gonna give y'all some money. I think that's it. I think that might be the answer. We're gonna give y'all some money. Right? Like, cause you see what happened when they got them Trump checks. It was like, oh, this nigga's awesome. He's amazing.
However it happens, it gotta happen. Like, there's people there's an untapped huge population of people that are registered that just don't come out and vote, and that's because we haven't spoke to them in a way that moves them.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's why, shameless plug, I am running to be your SDEC representative for the Black Caucus, and you should vote for Christian.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Mel, this was fucking awesome. I really appreciate this. I knew that we were going to have a good conversation when I asked you at the park to join the podcast.
Thank you for having fun.
Yeah, man. Nah, I mean, I would love to have you again. I think I want to have like a panel. Like I remember seeing this like Black Power panels, like all these different Black organizations were represented, the different perspectives of Blackness. I want to get to that point eventually, so I'm gonna definitely have to have you back on. I really love talking about Blackness. like as a whole. Most of the show was dominated by the unfortunate Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case, but we'll have plenty of other black topics to be able to cover. I appreciate everybody in the comments. Derek, Dina, Jazz, Mama Deborah, Lay. We do need to improve on educating our own. I could have said it more eloquently than Mel did. Democrats got a lot of work to do nationwide, not just in Texas. We got a lot of ground to cover. Mel, if there is one thing that you want to leave the people with before we go into this last snippet of music, what would you like to leave with them?
I would just say when things happen in our nation and in our communities that charge you up, right, that make you feel these strong emotions to want to do something, I say hold on to that. Like don't let it burn out. Don't let something else happen to where you lose that passion. Because whether you live in an all Black community, let's say you just had to move somewhere else for reasons that are your own, we still need help. We still need resources. We still need professionals. So hold on to that fire, that passion that you feel, and, bring it back. I feel like if you've ever had a Black teacher that was pro-Black in any way, they always tell you, you go out and you go get educated, you get what you need, and you bring it back home. So, keep that fire, keep that passion, and bring it back home, right?
Bring it back home. My pastor says that all the time. It's college, graduation time, a lot of college students getting their degrees and stuff like that. And he's like, y'all going off into the world, these big white schools and doing all these great things, but you need to bring that stuff right here at the Greater St. Matthews because we need you. And he and she are correct. Like, don't go out there and drink the Kool-Aid and believe that you got to go stand close to the sun because they're going to burn you. Every goddamn time. You are not OJ. They're going to burn you. Yo, we're going to get into this last song. This is 9,000 Bissonnet. I told you, Jamie. I don't know if Jamie is from the West or if he's from South Park, but he an H-Town representative for sure. And if I ain't nothing, I'm South Sea for Leah for sure, even though I'm from Virginia. Like, don't ask. Don't ask. I just love Houston so much. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I've been knowing I was going to live here since I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went to the Galleria, and that's back when we had the circular street signs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Yeah. And I'm from Virginia. We don't got no shit like that. And I came out here because I had my auntie and them lived on the Southwest. And we came to visit because we were moving, because I'm a military brat. We were moving to Corpus Christi, Texas. To Portland, Texas, right outside of Corpus Christi. And they took us to the Galleria. And I remember standing at the corner of, right, where that Starbucks is at Westheimer.
Yeah.
And I remember looking up and thinking, damn, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's a goddamn street sign. And it's just hanging from the sky. And I looked up at my mama and I said, when I become a man, I'm going to live here. Like, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I tell most people, they be asking me, man, what you gonna do? And I tell them, I'm living my dream, bro. Like, this is what I told myself I was going to do when I became a man. And, if you don't know nothing about Christian, I do what I want to do.
We happy to have you.
Yeah, man. I'm a Houstonian now. I got a rocket on me. You see me?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'm here. I got a drink cup. I'm all the way in this. Yeah. I'm South Sea for Leah. But anyway, let me get out of this. Excuse me. This is 9,000 Bissonnet by Jamie Hancock. We're going to come back, say goodbye, and sign off in a moment. Let's go ahead and get into it.
West, on that West, on that West, on that West, Twisted in the place where niggas don't survive. City move like snails without them shells. Can you stay alive? Pushing weight across 45 is just like exercise. Please don't find yourself in a place that you don't reside. No metaphors, but homie, you just might die. No need to slide without candy on the ride. Grip the wood aside, just in case a vampire wanna try. Never trust the man who speak the words eye for eye. Cause who's to say he won't try to steal my vision? See my palms is itching. Decisions. You won't have it all if you just sit there wishing. See my block is like a sin, like how these niggas steady pitch. Little homie, pay attention. Look, I made it out them trenches. Broke, I couldn't afford expenses. Look at me now, success is just my form of vengeance. A mountain full of stress, a nigga had to go and get it. I rose up out my feelings, paid my dues plus interest. I could've lost my life down, bitch and that.
West,
Slid in my first wet down, bitch and
on
that.
that West,
Niggas about they checks down, bitch and that.
West,
I had to gain respect down, bitch and
on
that.
that West,
I could've lost my life down, bitch and that.
West,
Slid in my first wet down, bitch and
on
that.
that West,
Niggas about they checks down, bitch and that.
West,
I had to gain respect down, bitch and that. Young player, nigga.
Yeah. That's that boy Jamie Hancock, aka Sofa Boy Jamie, out that West.
Tracks
Huh?
I said the tracks are live. The tracks are
Yeah.
live.
You know, man, I was a little skeptical about like introducing the music into the show. But I think it's nice. I mean, I think I try to do a good job at curating like a nice selection of music. Eventually I'm gonna drop a playlist of like everybody who's contributed their artwork to the show so people
Cool.
can be, find another way to introduce these people. And it's really important for me to bridge the gap between the movement of hip hop and blackness in politics, because I think that a large part of that, especially people like in our age range and younger, so it's a way that they connect. And I think that it is done in poor taste more often than not. Yeah. So, trying to cross pollinate the communities. Hopefully some of Jamie's fans watch because they want to hear his music. They learn something about politics. They learn something about super neighborhoods. They learn something about blackness, racism, all in between. And then we can all come together, be friends. The whole point of this is to create community, because eventually I want to bring this into real life so that we can have a third space where people can have and share free thought and, build community amongst one another. So again, Melanie, thank you, dog. I know I just asked you if you had one more message. Do you have another message?
Nah, man, we said it all. But nah, this is
Nah.
a beautiful show. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you being on. Well, we finna be out of here. Like I say every Thursday, the point of this is love, laughter, and learning. And I think we did all three of those quite well today.
We did.
Yeah. So y'all stay blessed. Have a great weekend, and I'm going to see y'all next Thursday.
All right.
Peace.